Hey Pisces, welcome to your June 2019 astrology and tarot reading. Welcome back to the channel. So Pisces, Gemini season. That duality. Both Gemini and Pisces possess this, and it is a very unique understanding between the two signs, albeit rather confusing and rather unusual at times. So Gemini and Pisces is an energy together. And this doesn't matter if you're dealing with a Gemini or not, Pisces, because this is more to do with the season itself. There's this kind of poetic, magical element to the Pisces-Gemini relationship. Yet there's also this confusion, this different way of processing the emotions, this different way of processing facts even. And for you this month, a lot of what you're going to want to do is to sort of rest and reflect. And you may have felt within Taurus season this strange pressure and this unusual way of seeing things that you didn't possess before. It's almost as though sometimes things would come out of your mouth that you didn't expect. You maybe said things that you regret. You maybe said things that you didn't mean to. Uranus was doing strong things with the sun, with Mercury, with Venus, so your relationships, your communication, and even your ego all came under this unique pressure. And it may actually have seemed to be a bad thing at the time. The energies are sort of crawling into June as well, but what you have said has actually been to release you from something. It's not necessarily been a bad thing, although it may have been unexpected and a little bit shocking. As we go into Gemini season, you have more of a chance to reflect on where you're coming from, because what has come out of your mouth lately is a lot more to do with what resides in your subconscious that you don't quite know. So that Scorpio full moon at the end of May probably felt quite jarring. It could have felt very intense. In fact, it most likely felt intense. Despite being fellow water sign energy, Scorpio energy will forever make you accept parts of yourself that are shadowy. It'll bring out your darker side. The darker fish, I suppose, may have made you feel a bit moodier, may have made you feel a little bit protective, a little bit insecure, and a little bit clingy in some scenarios, Pisces. And that's coming from somewhere. Here's you. Page of Cups. The need to be vulnerable, the need to be innocent, the need to be naive when it comes to love. The rose-tinted glasses. The need for things to be fairy tale. The need for things to be sensitive. The need for people around you to be sensitive to you. And it might have felt lately that you weren't getting that, so you became protective, you became closed off, you became uncertain, unsure. Could be to do with an earth sign. And it could also be to do with your success levels in work. You could be starting a new job, you could be starting a new business, you could be starting a new project, you could be moving. Success is coming to you in earthy ways. You could be dealing with an earth sign in your life that's very ambitious, very successful, and you could have an earth sign who's pushing you to be these things. Look for the Queen of Pentacles where you need to find your security. She's very much in charge of her business, but she's also rather soft. While being very strong and very secure and very stable, she has that softness because we can only be truly ourselves if we come at our projects with a lack of defense. And we don't need that kind of defense level when we feel secure. And that's where you're learning to expand yourself this month, Pisces. You're learning to embrace your soft center. You're learning to get back on the horse, because the full moon, it was hard. And as we come up to this full moon in Sagittarius, your career comes into question. Similarly, we think of the new moon in Gemini, where you want to put down new roots. You want to establish your security. You want to establish your home. You maybe have a new home coming up. You maybe are moving. You're maybe indulging in interesting relationships with roommates. Things maybe have been tense. Things maybe have been conflicting, or you may have been suspicious. The world keeps coming up. I think a lot of you are probably doing a geographical hop. This also can be the successful completion of a cycle. So graduation for some Pisces, next thing coming, next saga. We're moving into a new saga. So I'm going to stick with the world being there, and I'm going to go into splitting the deck. Let's see what we have for the gorgeous Pisces. Five of Swords. There has been conflict. Queen of Cups, your nature is right in the middle. What is assisting you is the Page of Pentacles. The challenge is the Devil. The outcome is the High Priestess. Again, your energy and the energy associated with the moon. But what's underneath? The sun. The sun and death. Right under there. Rebirth. Being reborn again to something better. Coming out of the darkness. Out of the shadows. There is, Pisces, with the Devil, I always think of it as being when you're your own worst enemy rather than necessarily somebody else coming into play. You're addicted to something, and people confuse addiction for being completely subject to alcohol, drugs, gambling, those type of things. The most addictive thing we have is habit. So when your brain is used to something, you sometimes seek ways to do it. If you don't have the awareness, you will do the same thing over and over and over, whether, it can be conscious, but most of the time it's subconscious. Most of the time the devil energy is that little devil on your shoulder telling you to do something naughty or telling you to do something destructive. I sense it's more destructive, and it's coming from a place of betrayal. It's coming from a place of fear. In your current position, there has been some level of betrayal. Now, this can go back as far as 5 years, by the way. This doesn't have to be completely recent. It can be a betrayal living in your subconscious. And it's the defensive energy we talked about at the beginning of the reading. When you feel completely authentic and completely secure, you will not go into something new with that level of defense. And that's exactly what the guy in the Five of Swords does. He tries to outsmart everyone else. He tries to keep the control over everyone else. He tries to be the stronger of those around him without necessarily needing to, because, I don't know, holding 3 swords and 2 at his feet looks like overkill to me. It's not necessary to have that level of defense. He only has 2 arms. The devil here is making you think that, though. It's making you think that being defensive is protective because you have a soft nature, and you have felt in this lifetime that you really would rather have come to things with this Disney-esque romantic fairy tale feeling, and people really sabotaged your rose-tinted glasses. I'd say people stepped on them at times, and that's where you're frustrated. Neptune in your sign as well, because Neptune has been in Pisces. Your ruling planet has been in your sign for a while, and with Mars and Cancer, this is a wonderful time for Mars and Neptune to support each other. And they do so in a way that your fantasies and illusions are supported by action. Oh, a fly. Especially if it's romantic, especially if it's creative, especially if it is exciting and fairy tale-esque. So here with the Sun, we are presented with an opportunity to have something wonderful that renews you, something that brings you back to life, and something that restores your faith. And what's lovely about the High Priestess energy, Pisces, is that you're going to be accepting of the dark and the light. Note the 2 pillars. You know that not everything is roses. There will be a dark side and a light side. And the reason that you're finding now what you want is because that Scorpio full moon has made you comfortable with your shadow. And you realize that it isn't all of who you are, because the sun has come out. The sun is shining a light. And truthfully, without the sun, we wouldn't have shadow anyway. You need the shadows. If it's just part of having the sunshine. So sometimes when things are going really, really, really well and you find something that you really want, you notice the shadow more. it's kind of human nature to go back to what's familiar. So if you've been in these sort of Five of Swords relationships for a long time, and then somebody comes along with the Pentacle and offers you something more solid, and it could be a job opportunity, business, whatever it is, it could be a child, whatever this is that's being presented to you that is something that you want, note the optimistic yellow sky, you start to realize what your shadow is. That's just the point. The dark and the light of everything here. Now, I'm just going to draw a clarifier for the High Priestess and see what this intuition is. We'll go deeper and deeper and deeper into this reading in the extended, but I will get all the... Oh, yes. Okay, so more than one card has obviously come out. What's this one? Ah, 10 of Pentacles. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Okay, so there is something very solid here. Something legal. You've signed a legal document. A lot of you. If you're involved in legal disputes, something's going in your favor, and it may present more than one avenue to you, more than one opportunity. Some of you are getting compensation for something. I sort of sense that for whoever that is, it's because of the reason that you were in difficulties. You're getting compensation for it, and you were in difficulties because of a devil-like energy. So maybe theft or somebody sneaking around. I don't know, but there's a lot of karmic justice to this, and it's setting you up for something. If you've moved, you're about to engage in a wonderful time, because Gemini season is the 4th house energy for Pisces, and moving home, etc., is very well aspected, because what I can see here is that with the 10 of Pentacles, you're putting down roots somewhere, but it's opening up a lot of paths to you. Justice and judgment. If you're married or engaged to a Scorpio, you guys are going to have a lot of opportunities that you didn't anticipate. That's a good thing. If you are dealing with a Libra, could be unexpected money coming to you guys. Somebody wants to be serious with you, Pisces. Somebody's very serious about you. And if with the 5 of Swords and even with Judgment, you've realized that your past has been defining your actions and it's the culprit behind your shadow side, you're coming to terms with the fact, especially during Gemini season, that duality to anything in life is natural, it's authentic, and it's okay. And you're more comfortable with that. You're not as shaken up as you have been. You get it now. You've learned something. You're in the intuitive High Priestess mode that we love Pisces to be in. It is your most important card, I think. So I'm going, Pisces, to do the Animal Spirit deck, because this gives a lot of interesting insights into the psyche, what's going on with Pisces. Again, we'll go more into this because there's just in terms of signs, there's an earth sign, a water sign, there's strong Capricorn vibes, with Libra, with Scorpio, with Pisces, but we don't need to be as general as that. We don't need to be as basic as the signs, but in the extended we will go into people per se. Let's see what's going on for Pisces. The octopus. Wow. You know, the octopus, since I've done these ones, has never come out. That's new. Water, though. Octopus. And the nightingale. Gorgeous. Somebody is singing, Pisces. Somebody is singing to your heart. Singing to your soul. Ah, the octopus. In the octopus's garden. Okay. So, a lot of the color in the octopus card, in fact, I'd say most of the color is going on in the brain here, the tip top of the head. You're not feeling at the beginning of the month, completely secure in where you are. That's why the tentacles are all up in the air. You don't have those boundaries set. And as I said about earlier, neediness. This is kind of you at the beginning of the month, feeling like a very needy octopus, you know, putting your tentacles out, trying to be everything to this person. And again, with the octopus, a lot of the time it speaks to needing to change habits, but you've certainly got, at the beginning of the month, this almost clingy vibe, and I think it's come from the Scorpio full moon. Your shadow side has made you clingy, Pisces, and you're learning to set healthy boundaries and engage your brain in different things, because you've got a project here that's very important. Projects are very important for keeping you away from the devil energy, because the nightingale, by contradiction to the octopus, is fearless and will sing and have courage in their convictions, and your voice has been challenged because of Uranus. You may have said stuff that shocked you, I guess. You may have said things that you weren't expecting to. The nightingale is saying that you need to sing. You need to engage your throat chakra. You know, wear blue, very Piscean, pale blue. Listen to music. Speak freely. And be kind in your speech. Maybe you've upset somebody by saying the wrong thing, but Uranus being there has been tricky for you. There's a very just and fair conversation coming up mid-June that will have wonderful results. And it resolving conflict and the silver waterfall. Bathe in your crown energy. Pisces, you need to... I just noticed a chivalrous guy under here. You need to accept somebody's authentic romantic advances for what they are. You know, justice doesn't look chivalrous, but justice is fair. Somebody who's not afraid of engaging with you financially. Somebody who's not afraid of bringing you flowers. Chivalry and resolving conflict. There is going to be romantic connections that bring great joy. There's a resolution of conflict here that's very important, and I have to say, for a lot of Pisces, I imagine that it's, in particular, if you've been fighting with your spouse, things are about to change in a way that you didn't expect, but for better. It's engaging in going for dinner, going for dates, that kind of, you know, there's a resolving conflict element to this where you're ready to listen to somebody if you've said something wrong. So if you've had an outburst, Pisces, or they've had an outburst, there seems to be a resolution, and judgment oftentimes means a resolution. So whatever the negative devil energy is that's overtaken you, we'll go more into it in the extended, but there's a wonderful turnaround, Pisces. Facts are coming out, you're engaging with your true self, you're coming out of this month a lot more authentic. And as we move into Cancer season, when the real romantic connections start, when the fun, when the frivolity, the creativeness comes out, Pisces, it's going to be so beautiful for you. But Gemini season is actually laying some foundations for you that are very important to the next step. We'll go into the extended on who exactly you're resolving conflict with, what area. I mean, it's clear there's the conflict here. For a lot of you, it could be a Capricorn. But it'll be different signs for different people. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, Pisces. I think June is going to be a very illuminating and very exciting month for you, with the High Priestess being the outcome. You will feel more spiritual and connected than you have done in a while, and that is key to the next steps, because you're laying the foundations for something very important. Something big. The presence of the world card in the beginning, judgment, justice, it's big. So if you want to meet me in the extended, go ahead, and if not, I will see you guys in the next set of readings. Bye.